Yeah, despite the outcome, I was pretty pleased with our team, with our effort, contributions from a lot of new guys. First time in a college basketball game. Played, I think, as an improved UMass team from a year ago, and handled it pretty well. I thought there was only one or two moments midway through the second period where we made some careless mistakes and played a little out of character, and that's when they were able to stretch their lead. But before that, we played within ourselves. Obviously, we're disadvantaged with our height and athleticism, but we made up for it by executing and playing together and sharing the basketball. And then the most important thing for me in a game like this is to make sure our guys stick together. We don't make it any worse than it is. And there was a time when I think they stretched the lead to 10 or 12 points, and we responded great. We didn't back down one bit. We got back in the game and made it close and gave ourselves a chance to win. So I really wasn't sure with the number of young guys we're playing that on the road in this type of environment, if we were put in that situation, that we would react as positively as we did. So I'm happy for my guys in the way they handled the second half in particular, and being down 10, 12 points and getting back into a game on the road.
A big part of that size disadvantage came in the form of Sean Holloway. What was the game plan that you guys implemented to try and keep him at bay?
Yeah, well, there's not many people like him, certainly that we face in our conference, but in all of college basketball. He's a really hard guard, and it really interesting, I think, dynamic for their team, because with him, I think they are one team, and then without him, they seem to play a different style. So you can't key in too much on him because he's not on the floor, that many minutes, because you got to focus on a different control or a different type of game that they play without him. So I thought for the most part we did a decent job. We drew a couple charges on him. He traveled once. We moved our feet to get around front. He still probably ended up with 12 points and 7 rebounds. But some of those plays are out of our control. Anything above the rim, we can't control that. But I thought below the rim we did a good job moving our feet and defending him pretty well.
What did you see out of Joey Glenn? He looked like you already have a lot of trust in him. He was guarding Holloway down there, giving up 100 pounds or whatever, but did a nice job, took a nice charge there. What did you see out of him today?
I think 100 is generous. At least that. And 5 inches, you can't have a better freshman first game than Joey had. He was composed on offense. He scored 18 points. He was outsized. He made open shots, didn't force anything. That was great. We've got a number of freshmen, and one of the hard parts for us is they've all progressed and they've all contributed in our preseason, so we weren't sure which ones to give the opportunity to. Tonight, it fell his way. Some of it was matchups. When they took the big kid out of the game, we had a harder time playing Darius Henderson,
right,
who is another freshman who has progressed well, but didn't get a lot of minutes in the second half because of that. So you play the matchups. Joey was particularly comfortable out there with Josh, and I thought they were working well together, so we stuck with him. But we've got another freshman, Elvin Blunt, who didn't get into the game that I'm confident is going to help us, and obviously Alex Rivera, who didn't make it tonight, is going to be a really good player for us as well. So Bryce Daly's another freshman I thought who came in and contributed. Didn't score a lot of points, but he had 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and for me, didn't play with fear. That's the first thing I look at when I look at my freshmen. All right, are they going to play fearless? And for the most part, our guys did. So that bodes well for us.
Quick follow-up with that too. You guys are obviously young, but Christian's a guy who's played college basketball. He's experienced, obviously, and he looked really comfortable out there. How nice is it to have a guy like that who's got the experience on a young team?
Yeah, transfers can be huge. They can come in and have a bigger impact than a freshman because they've played college basketball. You see UMass and the number of transfers that they've had and the impact that that's had on their program. So there's no substitute for experience. Christian brings that to us, and more than the scoring, because he didn't shoot well from the three-point line, and he is a good three-point shooter. He rebounds, and we need that, because we're a little undersized. He had 11 rebounds tonight, and we're going to need that moving forward from him every night.
Thanks, Coach.